I don't believe what I just saw.
This is one of the great moments in the history of baseball.
I believe in miracles. Yes!
Is this the dagger?
It's February 21st, and This Day in Sports is here to get you through your late February sports hangover. Our magical healing elixir includes fantastic sports stories such as a well-traveled shepherd that tended to many NHL flocks, a dick who buttoned himself up 3 times over, Canadian women proving that they're superior, 20,000 people all with the same haircut no sane person would ever want, another example of why great players make terrible coaches, and Steinbrenner firing one of the few great players who actually was a good coach. All this great stuff, plus bad tennis behavior, bad sequels in dog sports movies, and bad birthday wishes for one particular athlete from everyone who lives in Vancouver. Don't let the weeks after the Super Bowl get you down. Get excited about spring training on the way. We're in the best shape of our lives over here on This Day in Sports.
The best shape of our lives.
That's right.
It cannot. I challenge you that that's not true.
No, that's just what everybody says in spring training.
That's fair. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
okay.
that's it. I get it. I just felt like it wasn't really
It's
about
not.
us.
It never is accurate.
It's never accurate.
I heard a couple of things that
Sure.
made me think of our location.
Yeah.
I heard haircuts in there.
Yep.
I heard magical elixirs.
Oh, yeah.
Where are we, Sandy?
We're at Cabin, okay? This is Cabin. This is all about the gentleman getting a haircut, the gentleman getting some Chambord. That might be your elixir you're talking about.
Yeah.
And this is the place to go just to feel better about yourself generally. Because, Mike's talking about it's the February kind of blahs and post-Super Bowl, and you got this time period where you're like, I might go down and get my beard waxed up and maybe grab myself a belt buckle. And this is the place to do it, Matt. And this is one of 3 locations that you can do that. Get yourself some socks. Get yourself something to cut that cigar you got at home. Get yourself a new wallet, because you know what? You're going to get a lot of money this year. I can just feel it. A lucky wallet from Cabin, a lucky haircut. Get a cut, get a shave, get a ton of compliments at Cabin. And there's 3 locations, and if you want to know more, cabinforlife.ca. Exciting place to be, eh, Mike?
It sure is.
I feel like Louis, who owns Cabin, hasn't been here in a while because it doesn't smell like Louis right now.
Yeah, I know.
it's
I'm missing,
died down.
I'm
What
are you
missing
saying?
his scent.
He needs to swing by.
Yeah.
Is that Frank?
What are you saying?
I'm saying Louis needs to swing by with his luscious Papa Smurf
Bring
beer.
that smell
He's
back.
full of great smells.
He's always got some interesting odors coming out of it.
Interesting.
He's always unique scents. Like
Yeah, no,
he's always.
They're
They
good.
even
You're-
make stuff here
You know,
too, right?
I got to say, we got to get sponsored by Cove.
Cove.
This is delicious. You get the case of this down at the old Costco. You got your grape, your orange, your green.
Well, we're
probiotics.
We don't have one.
Probiotics are in this thing. That's because we got to get sponsored, Matt. We can each have a different flavor, and Frank can be the wild card.
If anybody
You know-
is watching that wants to sponsor the show,
Cove,
just-
this is a company in Nova Scotia. We're going to do it.
I mean,
right.
we'd love to vouch for it, Mike
Shall
and I,
we?
but we can't taste it.
Yeah, okay,
I
Matt.
don't care
Here,
for
Matt.
sugar.
Matt, have a sip.
No.
There you go. All of this is happening down here at Cabin.
on my own
Having a great
petard.
time. Friends, February 21st. Who wants to start off with a hot happening on this day in
I'm gonna
sports?
start with the first thing Mike brought up, the well-traveled shepherd.
Yeah.
And I believe this is in 1999, Carolina forward Ray Shepard had 2 goals in a 4-1 Hurricanes win over the Islanders. The 2 goals gave him 20 that season, making him the first player ever to score at least 20 for 6 different NHL teams. Those teams are Florida, Carolina, Buffalo, San Jose, Detroit, and the Rangers.
Ooh, okay.
6 teams, but never won a cup, Shepard.
That's hard to
No.
believe.
And here's what's even wilder. Bill Guerin later bested that record with 20 goals for 17.
Yes.
Wow.
I do remember when he got that record. And Guerin's still up there. I guess, is he top 3 in American scorers? I think he might be up there with Medano. And
Could be.
He's up there in the near. Frank will check that out.
Ronick and
Yeah. But this is Frank.
Top American scorers, yeah.
This is Frank Shepard's and Doug
Ray
Waite.
Shepard.
Ray Shepard. Doug Waite, though. Is he
Doug
another
Waite's
big
up there.
American
Yeah.
scorer?
Of course, Brett Hall.
Hall.
Yeah. And Medano. I think I would put money on Guerin in top 5.
Ray Shepard also apparently a heck of a golfer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we missed him in our 2-sport draft.
Huge mistake.
Huge mistake. So that was Ray Shepard.
Yes, on This Day in Sports.
February 21st, 1996, the 76ers tied an NBA shot clock era record low by scoring just 57 points in a game versus Miami in Philadelphia. They lost that barn burner 66 to 57. Shot just 1 for 19 from behind the three-point line and were led, quote, in scoring by Derek Coleman, who had 16. The Sixers had a win-loss record that year of 18 and 66, worst in the Eastern Conference, but it was worthwhile because in the end they ended up winning the NBA draft lottery that year, and with the first overall pick in the forthcoming draft, they selected someone named Allen Iverson out of Georgetown University.
He wasn't that important to the Sixers, was he?
No, and he wasn't very good either. I'm sure all the people in attendance for that 66-57 game were not feeling the love for the draft pick later on. They were like, this is the worst. That's a low-scoring college game.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
That's a terrible game. That's a terrible game.
Woo!
Let's go back to 1952 at the Oslo Olympics. American Dick Button became the first skater ever to land a triple jump in competition. His triple loop jump today sealed, on this day, not today, but that day, sealed his second consecutive Olympic gold medal in men's singles competitions. Dick Button, by the way, still with us. He'll be 95 this year.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's had an interesting life. And if you want to go out there and go on the old Wikipedia, look up his whole life. It's quite an interesting life. He's survived quite a bit, and he's 95 and still going. And I think occasionally still commentating.
Wow. Good for him.
2006. So we got a Guinness World Record here. So in 2006, 20,562 fans were in Cleveland's Quicken Loans Arena, and they set the Guinness World Record for the most people wearing wigs in a single venue. This was during a Cavs Magic game. So the fans were all given curly-haired wigs in celebration of center Anderson Varejao. And unfortunately, Anderson didn't play that game.
Oh.
He was on a suit on the bench. So
I don't remember seeing that, but that must have been quite comical because that's some hair.
I forgot about him and his hair. Yeah, that's great.
It was it's like ringlets.
Yeah. And if you put a headband on, it'd pop up.
Yeah.
So they had the whole arena wearing that wig.
Amazing.
So not only, and he wasn't playing, unfortunately. And also, unfortunately, the record was broken.
What?
In June of 2013, in the Anaheim Angels had 31,304 people wearing rally wigs against the Astros.
Rally wigs.
Okay,
all
So
right.
this was, they set the record here this night.
Yes.
It was later.
They
Yes.
were also Anderson Varejao wigs, though. They just got 10,000 more of them.
Like,
the same wig.
so some people got a really old sweaty
wig from
Cleveland wig.
From 10
And a
7
Cleveland
years
wig
earlier.
is always a
Yeah.
fine wig.
The old
Some of the-
Cleveland wig.
Yeah. Anderson
We'll think about that
Varejao
for a
also
minute.
didn't play in that game.
Wow, he
No.
didn't play the
No, he sat on the bench.
Strangely, actually, he did play in that game.
for the Angels.
0 for 4.
In 1985, I feel like I could do this every episode of this show.
Yeah, really.
Yankees owner George Steinbrenner gave manager Yogi Berra a vote of confidence in an interview with the New York Times. Yogi, quote, will be manager this year. I said the same thing last year. I'm saying it again this year. A bad start will not affect Yogi's status, end quote. After a 6-10 start to the regular season, Steinbrenner fired Yogi, but he didn't even have the guts to do it himself. He sent Yankees executive Clyde King to do it for him. As a result, Berra severed his relationship with the Yankees for nearly 15 years, refusing to come to the stadium for Old Timers Day or any other event. He and Steinbrenner eventually patched things up in 1999. Yeah, if you're going to fire one of the 5 greatest Yankees of all time, go and tell him in person,
yeah.
George.
And that's it. And then, but there's that great doc on Netflix about Yogi Berra, and the whole story is in there as well.
Yeah.
And first of all, amazing doc, but also a great moment where it's like where they finally get back together again. But I know that's such a big miss.
That's bad.
He just you
you
blew it.
He is inner circle all-time Yankees.
Yeah.
You handle that one very delicately,
Yeah.
George, and
Yeah.
you probably don't do it after 16 games.
And hey, Frank, what do you got for that American player?
Billy Guerin was 10th.
Oh,
Well, there's a lot of new guys.
My top 5. Yeah, the new
So
guys.
that means
Okay.
it's Matt and
Patrick
I get to
Kane.
drink Sandy's soda.
Here we go, Matt. You go first.
Guess who
And Sandy has to wear the wig.
yeah.
Oh man, you guys got me in this. All right, let's go. 2001. After playing 21 years in Boston, defenseman Ray Bourque played his first game against the Bruins, recording 2 assists during the Avalanche's 82 wins in Denver. Earlier that day, Colorado acquired another future Hall of Fame defenseman, Rob Blake, and Steve Reinpracht from L.A. in exchange for Adam Deadmarsh, Aaron Miller, and 2 future first-round picks. The Avalanche won the Stanley Cup. They called it the Stanley Cup back there. Yeah. In 2002, they started calling it the Stanley Cup.
That's how it's pronounced in Denver.
Stanley Cup. Well, actually, they did draft Stanley Cup the next year. Another heck of a defenseman.
It gets confusing.
A few months later, that's why I was confused, of course.
Camp Worsley.
The Camp Worsley. Thank you, Frank. You can take the rest of the night off. Go get a haircut. Grab some beer juice.
Get a wig.
Yo, Cleveland wig.
Get out of here.
And triple jump yourself the hell out of this.
It was weird. It was weird to see Ray Bourque win a cup with Avalanche, but everyone was so happy for him to do that. Like a lot of guys who just do that one last sort of hurrah with another team. But I'm glad he won one.
Sure.
1986, in the world of tennis, American Jimmy Connors was given a 10-week suspension and a $20,000 fine or in fines after he refused to complete his semifinal match versus Ivan Lendl at the Lipton Championships in Boca Raton, Florida. So Connors was unhappy with the linesman and the umpire, and trailing 2-5 in the 5th set. So they gone 5 sets. He refused to get out of his chair and continue the action. Just refused. He was assessed 3 consecutive time violation penalties before officially defaulting the match, and it was awarded to Lendl. Just wouldn't play.
Yeah, I mean, we all know, well, even if you see the documentary, the 30 for 30 with Jimmy Connors, and McEnroe openly calls him an asshole, and they say to Jimmy Connors that he just called you an asshole, and he's like, he said that? He was just kind of like, yeah, I guess. Like he had no real response, but not very popular amongst the other players either.
Here's a Jimmy Connors fact that I looked up when I was researching this. Jimmy Connors does not hold the record for the most Grand Slams won. That's Djokovic for men. But Jimmy Connors still has the record for the most WTA events won.
Yeah.
Really?
More than Federer. Now, he's the only guy to have more than 100. He has like 107, I think. Mm-hmm. Now, that probably means Connors played more tournaments.
Sure, he did.
And he played for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Jimmy Connors was still competing in his late 30s.
Yeah.
But he won more tournaments than anybody else.
Yeah.
Now, I imagine now guys are more careful. There's so much money involved now, too, right? Yeah. Guys will take tournaments off to make sure they're ready for the Australian Open or Wimbledon or whatever. But still, that's not an insignificant statistic that Jimmy Connors did that.
There's zero doubt he's a great player.
Yeah.
But
he's kind of known more as a character than a player, but he obviously was a great player, too.
Yeah. Hyper competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess he felt like that was his only move,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I guess that is his only move.
He argued his point, and they said no, and he's like...
You circled it back. I thought you meant just generally in life that was his only move, was to be great because he's a dick. Okay, got it. I was taking it further.
I can't be good if I'm not an asshole.
Okay.
2002, Haley Wickenheiser's second period goal gave Canada the lead, and they held on to defeat the U.S. 3-2 in the gold medal game in women's hockey at the Salt Lake City Olympics. It was the first of 4 consecutive Olympic goals that the team won, and they won it despite having 26 minutes in penalties that game versus just 12 for the Americans. By the way, it was an American head official for that game.
Thank you.
Just want to point that out. The U.S. team had defeated the Canadians 8 consecutive times going into that game, though.
Yeah, I do remember that run.
Yeah, good for them. Big game. I remember watching that.
Oh, yeah. 2003, 4 days after his 40th birthday, Washington guard Michael Jordan scored 43 points on 18 of 30 shooting during an 89-86 Wizards win over New Jersey and in D.C. MJ became the first and still only NBA player to score over 40 points in a game after turning 40.
Wow.
2 weeks later, he scored 39 in a game, just missing doing it again. And what I remember most about him being with the Wizards is how high he would pull his sweatpants up in warm-ups. It was like he was trying to start this kind of old manish trend where you just pull the sweats up as impossibly high as possible. And it never caught on.
No.
But I'm going to pull up an image. He had I just remember the white sweats for the Wizards, and he
just really high.
Really high up. That's what he was going for.
I just want to point out Michael Jordan in 2002, 2003, he's 39 years old. 82 games played.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not a game missed.
Yeah.
No rest.
No load management.
No load management.
Yeah.
Played all 82 games and averaged 37 minutes a game.
Because you'd think he'd rest up for the playoffs.
Oh.
Ouch. Ouch.
so much.
Did he ever refuse to get out of his chair and continue playing?
No.
No, that was Scottie Pippen.
Thank you.
Scottie Pippen did do that.
Thank you. That's right. He did. He absolutely did. Yep.
2002, grab your popcorn because Air Bud 7th Inning Fetch was released.
Thank you.
Straight to DVD on this day.
7th Inning Fetch. How long did you think it took him to think of that title? 3 seconds?
I think they had a few, a few
That's
days
market
where they brought
research.
people in.
Yeah,
had
that's
time.
market research.
Yeah. Okay.
So this was the 4th film in the Air Bud series. It was the last one to feature any original cast members from the first. Long story short, Bud foils a series of local dog nappings while also getting to the World Series as a member of the Anaheim Angels.
Okay.
The film had 4 credited screenwriters.
Wow.
4.
In a
You don't come up with an
No,
idea
no.
like that by yourself.
One guy thought of the title of the movie, quit. He gets a credit.
Another guy did all the dog napping stuff. There was one on the Angels. One guy just for dog bits. So the film had 4. Yeah, in 2020, a 2-disc set of all the Air Bud films was released.
Straight to garbage?
In the other 4. In the other 4, Bud, a golden retriever, by the way. He plays basketball, football, soccer, and volleyball. So I ask you this. So
Not hockey. They never,
Not
they
hockey.
never got to
I
hockey.
remember he was the golden receiver, I think, was the football one.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So which of these is most plausible, do you think?
Okay.
So if a dog was
The
going to play
golden
a
retriever.
sport, yeah, like you've got basketball, football, soccer, volleyball.
Soccer.
Or yeah, I guess it has to be soccer.
Because you only have to kick the ball, right?
Yeah.
Like theoretically, a dog
Yeah.
could potentially.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's
you can
probably
kinda
right.
see that.
Head it in.
I can't see him swinging a bat
No.
or shooting a
Because he
a
couldn't get the
basketball
football in his mouth. You can't really catch it.
Well, he could play special teams.
and tackle.
Yeah, I suppose.
Just like a gunner running down to like.
Yeah, that's it. You get there, but,
Yeah, he couldn't punt or anything.
No. I mean, in the end,
Volleyball, he couldn't do anything.
No, volleyball's silly.
volleyball is the silly
I
one.
think soccer
I think the
is-
rest I kind of was like, okay, but then volleyball, I was like, no.
Yeah, it's like when it was soccer, it was realistic.
Yeah, I thought that
Then
too.
they kind of stretched it.
That
too.
was
It's like
what-
it's like the Die Hard movie.
It kind of lost me. Like,
yeah, that's right.
Did I buy the DVD set? Sure, I did.
Sure.
Because I knew Frank wanted a stocking stuffer.
Yeah.
And I got Frank the full set.
I think
You and Frank are always arguing about which is the better film, too, which I love.
It's endless.
That kind of
Go on a
banter.
road trip with us and turn down the radio because
right.
we're going to go for it.
And by the way, they are films.
They are.
They're not
Thank
movies.
you
They're
for saying
films.
that.
and I
thought
do
you were
think
saying
that's how they got people in the theater because they would go, well, I mean, how would he even do that?
Let's go find out.
How would he
yeah.
do that?
I gotta pay
Yeah,
12.
yeah.
I gotta pay 12.
Yeah, the
bucks to go
processing,
see
right?
that.
I heard
Oh, as if.
They were gonna
As
make
if.
they were gonna make another one with Vin Diesel in it just to bring it up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Frank.
No problem.
bowling?
Get that franchise
Yeah.
moving.
If anyone out there has the entire Air Bud collection, if you
Then-
get it in our hands,
Yeah.
we're going to watch them all.
Yeah, we will.
And-
we
and-
will give you our feedback.
We'll have a full bonus episode where
Please
we
bring it
just
in.
talk about all
come
the
to come to the live show that's coming in June.
And Bob Cajun, bring us the Air Bud. Get yourself a.
and we'll autograph it for you.
Thank you.
For God's sake, let's get off this topic. On February 21st, 1980.
Alternate title for the podcast.
Yes. February 21st, 1980, Dr. Patrick Matza, the team doctor for the Phillies AA team in Reading, Pennsylvania, was indicted on 223 charges of prescribing amphetamines without a physical exam. Among the names of players on the prescription pads were Pete Rose, shocker, Steve Carlton, Tim McCarver, Larry Boa, and Greg Lazinski. 7 Philadelphia big leaguers testified against Mazza, though none of them were suspended for their actions.
Interesting. Okay. In 1969, Hall of Fame outfielder Ted Williams signed a 5-year contract to become manager of the Washington Senators. Williams lasted 4 years with the team, even staying for their first season in Texas as the Rangers. In 4 seasons at the helm, they were never higher than 4th in the division and finished above 500 just once. Miserable.
Yes,
I
and
think
every photo I've seen of him in that uniform, he looks pitch miserable.
just hating
He
it all.
hates
And-
every minute of it.
And as you alluded in the opening, Mike, great players, bad coaches often because they just can't understand why you don't get it. Why don't you get it?
Yeah, why aren't you able to? Wayne Gretzky, right?
Yeah, just you can't. It's
so
so
easy.
frustrating.
Yeah.
and yeah, he looks beyond miserable.
Yes, yeah, like every photo, he just looks like he'd rather be anywhere
And he
else.
picked guys that he was just like, I'm gonna. Who was the guy that won the MVP? Was it Burroughs? Yeah. He
79.
in particular, he said when he was coming up, Williams just picked on him relentlessly.
Right.
Like it just couldn't understand. But he just was mean about it. He was just like, I'm gonna take all this out anyway.
That sounds like him.
That's Ted Williams right there.
Should we go
Quick
hits?
Should we
Let's,
go quick-
let's bring the
quick
energy
hits.
up. No, quick hits. Let's go.
Hi.
Quick hits.
There it is.
1994. Keith
Yes.
Acton played his 1,000th career NHL game as his New York Islanders defeated Washington 4-0. Keith Acton.
Your high voice kind of goes to Kermit the Frog.
Ah.
Yeah.
1982. Tom Watson won his first PGA event in 8 months, making a 30-foot birdie putt on the third hole of a sudden death playoff with Johnny Miller at the Glen Campbell LA Open in Riviera Country Club. Watson admitted afterwards he's gotten lucky to win because Miller had bogeyed both the 17th and the 18th that day to fall back into a tie and force the playoff. Boy, Johnny was kicking himself that day.
Quick hits in 1952 in a game that was nicknamed the Milkman Special. The Pistons and Celtics faced off at Boston Garden with a start time of midnight. The late start followed a performance by the Ice Follies. Only 2,368 fans stuck around to see Bob Cousy score 24 in an 88-67 Boston win. Well, at least they won.
Yeah.
2021, Novak Djokovic wins his record 9th Australian Open men's tennis championship, dominating Russian Medvedev in 3 sets. It wasn't his last AO title either.
Wow. Quick hit, 1992. Christy Yamaguchi won a gold medal in women's singles figure skating at the Albertville Olympics. It was her first and only Olympic competition as a singles performer, and she became the first Asian American ever to win gold at a Winter Olympics.
Quick hits! In 2016, Denny Hamlin won the Daytona 500 in the closest finish in the great American race's history, edging out Martin Truex Jr. by just Truex Jr. Tricks are for kids, right? By just 0.01 seconds in a photo finish. Second podcast in a row we have talked about NASCAR and the Daytona 500.
That's right.
We
That's
did
right.
it, friends. Shall we dim the lights?
For
births.
let's bring the candles.
Sorry, let's go full blast candles
Yeah.
then. Let's go
Okay.
the opposite way for
Well,
births.
what's weird is we never actually do change the lights at all.
No,
Oh,
we just
yeah,
talk
I guess.
about
It's
it.
just psychological.
That's exactly what it is. And if you're on a podcast, you can do it at home.
That's right. You can
envision.
right. We encourage you right now, folks.
Please.
Turn the lights up.
If you're out there right now,
In fact, light some candles. Yeah.
fans of the show, Evan Callahan, lower the lights. We're about to do births and then lower them more.
Brian
it
Vaughn.
be-
Followed by deaths. Yes, that's it.
Should it be get the presents? Or maybe get behind the couch because it's going to be a surprise
Surprise
birthday.
party. I like it.
This
Okay,
one's a surprise
that's why we're
party.
dimming the lights.
We're
It's a
getting behind the
surprise
couch.
party.
And
Okay.
surprise, because in 1958, Hall of Fame shortstop Alan Trammell was born
Hey.
in Garden Grove, California.
Garden Grove.
Nice.
Alan Trammell.
Nice.
In 1925, Hall of Famer and NBA champion head coach for the Portland Trailblazers, Dr. Jack Ramsey, born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Get behind the couch and jump out. Surprise! 1946. Legendary Boston Globe sports writer Bob Ryan in Trenton, New Jersey. And if you don't think you know what Bob Ryan is, you do. You do. You'll see him. You'll know him. Bob Ryan. There
He's
he
the
is.
sports writer, kind of.
Sports writer, exactly.
All right, get in the back bedroom because in
no.
1976, no, we're going to all jump out. We're
Oh,
not-
okay.
You know, that just
Yeah,
wear the
you can't
coats
fit
on.
everybody behind the couch.
Now,
Yeah.
are we all wearing wigs?
Yes, absolutely.
Everyone put a wig on because in 1976, longtime Edmonton Oilers winger Ryan Smith was born in Banff, Alberta.
Nice.
Ah, yes. 1983, Gold Glove winning outfielder Franklin Gutierrez was born in Caracas, Venezuela. I only mentioned him because one of his coaches, because he was such a good defensive player, gave him a great nickname, which was Death to Flying Things.
Right.
Nice. Nice. In 1977, jump out from behind that easy chair.
Oh,
3-time NBA All-Star Steve Francis in Tacoma Park, Maryland.
you can hear the West Coast booing as you said it.
Yes, right. Yeah.
1968, one-time Pro Bowl running back who played for Washington and Minnesota, Terry Allen, was born in Commerce, Georgia. That was going to be a surprise, but you know, everyone
He found out ahead of
I already
time.
knew.
ahead of time,
And Mike, I do realize now why you have the one particular athlete from everybody in Vancouver.
Yes.
Birthday. Yes, that was the bad birthday wishes for Steve Francis. Okay.
Yes.
Tied it all together.
No, it's all coming together. Do we have any more birthdays we want to do before I do the death?
Well, you know,
Passing.
Passings.
I'm hiding over here under a bunch of pillows, and I'm going to jump out because in 1991, Toronto Blue Jays second baseman Devin Travis in West Palm Beach, Florida.
What could have been?
What could have been?
Okay, we only have one death I wanted to mention. In 1974, on this day, longtime Maple Leafs defenseman Tim Horton died in my hometown of St. Catharines, Ontario, and He died about 150 meters from my house.
Wow.
We lived right on the QEW, and he died right like behind our house on the
When
highway.
you're living there,
When we were living
you're
there.
alive.
I was alive. I don't
This is
remember. I was
happening.
2.
Yeah.
But we were there,
Wow.
and it happened like you could see from my bedroom window the spot where he died.
Could you have
That
stopped
was
it?
that was
Could you
him
have stopped
coming back to Toronto. He was
think
playing in Buffalo.
Yeah.
It's either or. I can't remember if he was going back to Buffalo.
So let's figure it. Were you on the service road? Was it north or south service road?
I don't know. Oh, I was 2.
Get the wigs.
Get behind the couch.
Frank, what did I tell you?
Internet
Triple
sleuths.
jump yourself the hell out of here.
Hey,
I just because you know
Anyway.
what? There's an ongoing argument whether he was going to Buffalo to play because he was playing in Buffalo.
Okay.
Or
is he
living
ongoing
Can-
in this room or
No,
everywhere?
just in general. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
The story.
Allegedly.
It's been so long, right? People
Yeah.
kind
Where
of
was it
forget the
going?
entire story.
Well, it's you can look it up. There's a lot of details about it that
You know
are
what?
not flattering to Tim. So
Yeah.
I don't want to bring that up. But
No.
it was late at night. Let's put it that way.
Wow. Tim Horton. Wow,
I'll find
this
it.
is it. This is it. So, okay. We got to bring the energy back up because
Yes.
we've had the deaths, of course, and of course
Well, it's just one.
some traffic direction from Frank. And so we're wondering, what do you do?
He was going to Buffalo. I've just looked it
Okay.
up.
Yeah.
He was on his way to Buffalo.
Okay.
They played the Leafs.
And
on his
between
way.
Ontario Street and Lake Street is right where we lived. Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Sandy, you had talked about Dick Button earlier, hadn't you?
I did talk about Dick Button, great Olympian. So that really brings us back to the Winter Olympics. Thank you, Matt, getting us back on track. Dick Button inspires this Winter Olympic idea. And you think about the Olympics, and we want to have a draft that is going to be about the Olympics, and more specifically, what we consider to be the most challenging and difficult events at the Winter Olympics. We've decided on the Winter Olympics, we're going to throw out there what we think, in our opinions, are the 3 harder ones of our opinion, that the hardest Winter Olympics. Then we're going to have a judge come on and figure out who picked the best of the most difficult events. If that's clear to everybody, it's at home, maybe. But if it's clear to us, it's most important.
It's clear as a bell.
Clear as a
There's
bell.
no way anybody missed that.
All right. And I believe I have first pick here.
Oh.
And I'm actually going to pick what I think would be just absolutely terrifying, and that would be the skeleton.
Yeah.
This race, this is from the site, okay? This is the Olympic site. Skeleton racing involves plummeting headfirst down a steep and treacherous ice track on a tiny sled. It is considered the world's first sliding sport. But people have died.
Yes.
And that's why it went away. It was banned for the Olympics for a long time, and then it made its way back because it was just so dangerous. So I got to go with the skeleton.
That's a great pick. I was looking at what all these Olympic sports were, and I was going, hey, what's this one in 2026? Is going to be the event ski mountaineering,
Yes.
where you climb the mountain, then ski down. So I understand, skeleton was on my list, but you're just sliding down, climbing a mountain just to ski down. Like that's difficult.
Yeah.
Now, Matt, I just want you to know that in the sport, they refer to it as Skimo.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a hip
That's,
way of saying
I'm an
A
outsider.
little bit of inside
ski-
baseball there.
Thank you. And that's going to come to Italy in 2026 for
Yes,
the
it
Olympics.
is.
Yeah,
Yes,
ski
it is.
Well,
mountaineering.
then I'm going with Skimo.
That's a good choice.
Skimo.
Skimo's a good choice.
Okay.
Skimo, when I was young, I used to call your name.
That was my pick. It was
when
my
no one else would come. Skimo, you always came.
pick. We can't sing.
And you stayed. Skimo is
What the hell was that?
Neil,
What was that?
Neil Diamond. Shiloh when I was young.
okay.
Yeah, come on.
I thought that was
Once you said
I
Neil
thought that was-
Diamond, I knew it before.
I
I
thought
had
that
no
was a
idea what the hell
Sinatra
that
tune
was.
you were singing.
I sang it with a bit of a swing on it. Thank you, Frank,
You
for
did,
noticing that. And Matt is already looking up, do we have the rights to that song?
Allegedly. Okay, so my most difficult Winter Olympic event is I have chosen ski jumping.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I can't see. I agree with Matt. Skeleton is terrifying, but you're kind of just lying down, going down a hill. Ski jumping, you gotta, to me, is even harder because you have to kind of control it and then leap into the air and land it successfully as well. So my pick is ski jumping because every time
I think it's a great pick.
I watch it, I get terrified.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that if you ever get a chance to check out the training for ski jumping, often, especially with newcomers, they go into a swimming pool.
Oh,
They
is that
jump,
right?
they land
Yeah,
in a
that
swimming
makes
pool.
sense.
Yeah,
That's the landing.
That
That's
makes
like
sense.
in Park City in Utah. I saw the kids, especially kids, doing it, and it's amazing.
Otherwise, think of how many people you'd lose.
No kidding. No kidding. You want these kids to do it a second time.
Yeah.
Yeah, right into a pool. Okay, well, I'm going to just continue this theme from skeleton. I'm going to go to luge. I think luge is also terrifying.
Yeah.
This is again, the Olympic site description. Luge riders hurdle down a slippery ice track at great speed, relying on reflexes for steering. That's the thing that freaks me out. Unlike bobsleigh, however, they have no protection should they make an error. That's on the site, the Olympic site. Makes it very scary.
Yes.
Hyping it up.
I'm going to go with one that's not.
Sandy is cooking with hot dog water tonight.
Thank you.
Do you have a song for that one? Or no,
I don't. I don't have a Skimo
okay,
song. We can
that's all right.
sing Skimo again if you.
No, that's all right. I'm going to go with one that's not necessarily scary. I just think it's so difficult. And that is the biathlon.
Yeah.
This is, where you're cross country skiing and then you got to get your heart rate down to do the shots.
Yeah.
And then let's say you miss, you got to that whole time you're just you're so mad, you're just you're raging, and then when I get back, and then you get back, and then you got to get your heart rate down.
That's I was briefly a biathlete.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
And I because I used to do cross country skiing, and I was doing Army cadets when I was a kid. Don't want to brag, but Army cadets, I was the cool kid.
Still not bragging.
And no, still not. It is
you are.
that getting your heart rate is everything. It's everything. And when you played, remember you played the Olympics video games when you were kids. There was when you were in biathlon, it was like that you had to get the heart rate, and your rifle's going up and down, up and down, up and down.
It's an incredible challenge. It's kind of a weird combination of skills, but that's why.
It really, really is.
Yes.
And I could ski, but that was almost impossible.
Yeah.
Like that's that thing. But
Were you okay with target practice if you weren't
generally
skiing?
really good?
Actually
really good. Good shot. Won a lot for shot. I was a good skier. Together, terrible. I really was terrible.
Of course.
Like I'm still trying to figure it out, and everyone's gone. They're gone. They're gone. They're done. They're skiing. Yeah.
Just
terrible.
a really difficult skill.
It is
Agreed.
absolutely
It
is.
Okay, so my second one is I'm choosing the Nordic combined because you have to do both cross country skiing and ski. You have to do downhill skiing as well, like ski jumping.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you have to do both in that event. So it's like combines the very difficult things in different ways. You have to be good at both kinds of skiing. I feel like that's a unique challenge, much like biathlon.
And I feel like some of those events, like even I think what ski mountaineering will probably be, and you're talking about Nordic combined. When we're in Canada, they don't watch those much because if you're in like Norway or the countries that dominate these sports, like across country or whatever, like we just don't like because you watch, you know how it is in Canada. It's like it's the early morning event or the event no one's really watching, and it's this cross country skiing going on. They're like, let's catch up with the Canadian currently in 47th. And you're just like, I don't want to watch this.
Yeah.
But we don't tend to know like Nordic combine because I don't know if Canadians even medaled in that
I doubt
before.
Yeah.
And okay, well, I think for me, is this the last
third
round?
one, yeah.
Are we doing 3 or 4? We're doing
Three.
Okay.
Yeah, 3. And I think I'm really just going to go simply with figure skating.
Yeah.
I think figure skating is incredibly difficult, and
No
especially
debate about it.
I find especially when you watch kids trying to do it at competitions, and the kids are doing basically nothing and these are kids who are, I guess, considered really good skaters. Even at age 12, they're basically doing very little, but that's hard. And the very little is even hard.
Let me ask you this. Are you doing figure skating like singles or partners? Because those are different.
They are different. Do you want me just to pick one event?
Yeah.
Make it easier?
Well,
to
obviously
pick other things.
Well, no, I'm not going to pick one, but I'm curious what you think.
Tippin's getting shirty about it.
No. I'm curious because I had picked. It was on my list for after you fall. I think it's the most difficult to fall in figure skating and then get up.
Yeah.
And still do your thing. No, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
But is it easier to fall if you're on your own and then just you by yourself, or with a partner? Because then you've let your partner down, you feel, even if they.
Here's what I'm going to do for you.
Okay.
I'm just going to pick ice dancing. My pick is ice dancing. Frank, you got that?
Yeah.
All right.
Great.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Here we go.
Showed me. Okay. Well, I'm going to stay away from skating then, and I'm going to make a.
That kerfuffle was for nothing.
No, there's more kerfuffle coming because I'm gonna pick a controversial pick here. This was
There's
basketball.
A shocker.
Basketball.
This was a demonstration sport at the 1928 games in St. Moritz.
Okay.
It's the Winter Pentathlon.
Okay.
It includes cross-country skiing, shooting, downhill skiing, fencing, and of course, horseback riding.
Can I ask you one question?
Yes.
Was New Zealand in that?
Can I ask you a second question?
Follow up.
Was the criteria not most difficult Winter Olympic events?
Yeah, this is
So
at
that
the
was
Winter
a
Olympics.
demonstration event. That was not a. That's not actually
Event.
a winter demonstration event. There's no medal awarded in it.
I was just Sato the
No,
demonstration.
every time we do these, there's always a Kippen like, I'm going
Yeah,
to go
yeah,
off
I
the
know,
board
yeah.
and pick
It
something
is.
Sure.
that isn't in the rules.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. And what is it, Matty? What's it called again?
It is called the Winter Pentathlon.
Okay. All right.
And the reason you and I didn't know about it is because it's not an event. Just in case you're wondering why you didn't have that in your notes, it's because it's not actually in the criteria of what the draft is.
Ultimately, when this is released, jump on your socials, friends, and let us know what you think. Let us know what you think. Is it an event?
I will stick with Winter Olympic events and choose snowboarding.
Ice dancing's gone.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
because ice
Snowboarding.
dancing is gone. That
Yeah.
would have been my pick.
Yeah.
But I think snowboarding is very difficult, especially when you see what those men and women can do on those things. It's pretty incredible. All the, that's another one I watch. I just think, oh God, they're gonna die, and they never do,
Yeah.
and they're always so smooth at it and so good to get to that level where you're actually competing at an Olympic level in it.
Yeah.
Incredibly difficult, and like the slightest slip, and you're in a lot of trouble.
Yep.
Yeah. Are you thinking like the half pipe?
All of it.
All
Yeah,
of it?
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Especially when you put it as part of the pentathlon, it's a really daunting. Anyway, so snowboarding is my third.
Well, Mike, if you put it in the pentathlon, we're simply going to have to take another event out because we have a certain
'cause it
amount.
has fencing
Thank
and
you.
other-
You got to
That's
really
right,
move on
yeah.
from
And
that.
Yeah.
Winter fencing was my favorite part of that. Okay, well, listen, we've got,
got one.
Yeah, please,
Oh,
Frank.
right.
Frank, please. Yeah, please.
It's not a Olympic event, but it should be. It's its own event, but it's the Red Bull Crashed Ice. Have you seen that? That's
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With the guys
definitely.
in the skates and they go downhill
Yeah.
insane.
and
is crazy.
crash everywhere.
Crash ice.
Yeah, crashed ice. You haven't seen
Yeah.
it?
Crashed ice. No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Really?
I've seen.
Oh yeah,
clips
they
of
do it.
You said
they
Red
do-
Bull, I
they
assume
do
it's
it in
extreme.
Quebec. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
super extreme. They're dressed in hockey gear,
Yeah.
ice skates,
Yeah.
and they've iced a track that's downhill.
Yeah.
With turns and
But they don't hit each other, do
moguls.
they?
Yeah, they can.
They do, so it's like,
they jockey for position, and
Okay.
yeah, it's not blatant body checking or anything like that, but
Yeah.
it's pretty hairy.
Well,
Yeah, it certainly is.
so I didn't pick that one because it's not an event,
Okay, sorry.
but
Maybe that'll pick it.
Should be.
all right, let's get our energy up because we want to be judged now. We're going to bring in our judge to tell us, in their opinion, who has the best lineup of difficult events at the Winter Olympics, and hopefully they'll add a few that maybe we missed, or maybe ones that they even say this should be a sport, and like Frank just did there. All right, here we go. All right, on this day in sports, our guest judge for this episode is Ron James.
Hello, everybody.
Here he is. He's a stand-up who started his career at the legendary Toronto Second City after moving from Halifax to Toronto back in the 80s. Ron has appeared in dozens of commercials. He's had countless television and film roles, including shows like Made in Canada, Black Fly, and being the star of the Ron James Show, which ran for 5 years on CBC. His stand-up tours, or tour, if you're from out east, and TV specials have become legendary, including the one that got it all started, Up and Down in Shaky Town, One Man's Journey Through the California Dream. Ron's 9 one-hour comedy specials became a Canadian New Year's Eve viewing tradition. 9, that's really worth highlighting. Wow. Ron's stand-up shows are selling out coast to coast, as always. So if you've never had a chance to see him live, do it. And I should also mention Ron has an excellent Stephen Leacock Award-nominated book called All Over the Map, and is currently the star of the #1 series on Bell 5 TV, One Man's Treasure. That's enough intro. Let's get him started.
Oh.
Welcome to the show, Ron James.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Thanks. Yeah, I'm a senior citizen.
Oh, perfect.
Been at it a while.
Put it in the bio.
Listen, not the first senior to have on this show. We've had lots of legends, including yourself now. And we wanted to jump in first of all, because Winter Olympics. Are you a fan of the Winter Olympics? Do you watch a lot?
Absolutely. They're the best.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when's the last time we were outstanding in the Summer Olympics? A while ago.
Yeah.
Canada, for the most part, other than global warming's refusal to allow the ponds to freeze so we can play shinny. It's a winner nation, and that's how we define ourselves, right? And I had the good fortune to work with John Montgomery a while ago, who won.
nice.
What did he win the gold for again?
Skeleton.
Yeah. The guy's from flatlands of Manitoba.
Man.
It's remarkable that he went from the flatlands of Manitoba to barreling down the hill at 110 kilometers an hour, right?
I think the whole story was like he just kind of saw it and was like, I can do that. I'm gonna try that. No one else thinks that.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. That natural aptitude of athletes is enough to make you puke. Everybody always had that buddy who, he was Happy Gilmore, right?
Mm-hmm.
He picked up a golf club. It was natural. Hockey stick, natural. I mean, I played house league hockey. My fourth line couldn't put the puck in the net to save their life, but score you 4 hot tires off a 68 Camaro. They had that covered.
It feels like, you mentioned Canada Winter Olympics. It's like we've come a long way since like the days when like Gaetan Boucher won a bronze, and it was like he was the biggest hero in Canada, and we are all so excited about that bronze, and we were Canada home of the bronze for a long time.
I think On the Podium changed that dramatically. It shifted the paradigm when we decided to win rather than, not to say just compete, but we entered the Olympics with a winner's attitude. And that's how you should approach anything, to want to be your best. I remember we always used to pat ourselves on the back for, that was a good try. Well, no, we came home with a record amount of gold that year, didn't we?
Yeah.
And that's how I approach these drafts.
Well done, Matt.
You're always going for the goal there, Matt. Well, Matt, we're going to kick right into this and see if you can win this one. Ron, team 1 was the skeleton, the luge, and figure skating. Those are the 3. And forced to pick one, the figure skating was ice dancing, because originally it was just figure skating, but one of us really wanted a specific, so they got ice dancing in there. But you can judge all figure skating. I personally don't mind, but skeleton, luge, and figure skating. What do you think of those, Ron? It was difficult. What's the difficulty level there?
Well, they're all consummate athletes. I being unless I'm behind the wheel of my car, I'm kind of scared of speed. And I would think going down an icy hill face first on a luge, that's got to be pretty tough. It's got to be pretty tough. But then again, I mean, you see ice dancing, and it's I mean, when do you drop your partner on her head? Right? I remember the days in Second City where I'd forget to put a chair in the right place and somebody would stumble in the dark, let alone, doing what was that famous move that Toller used to have? Not the Sopwith camel. That's the plane that Snoopy flew. What was it? Some kind of camel?
I can't remember. I'm not sure.
I'm playing at the top of my intelligence now. Listen, by the way, those specials that I do, they're not that bright.
Yeah. Is it dromedary? I don't know what.
Dromedary. It's the dromedary camel that made him famous. So I'd be nervous of dropping my partner. And what's the skeleton one again?
Skeleton's head first, luge's feet first.
Oh, luge's feet first, skeleton's head first.
Yeah.
I think the skeleton would be the hardest.
Mhm.
I'm not, so no, luge. I'm going to stay with luge, feet first. That's the hard.
Certainly Olympians that died doing the skeleton. That's why it went away for a long time, but either one.
It did. There was a high attrition rate.
There was enough that they stopped it. Haven't stopped ice dancing yet. One thing I'll say, Ron, is that being a Second City alum myself, I would say that if you put a chair in the wrong place, there was probably more complaining about that than when a partner in ice dancing gets dropped on their head.
And, right? It was just, and I'd come backstage and they'd just be looking at me going, look, we practiced it. I'll be saying, but it was dark. I didn't know I had attention deficit hyperactive disorder at the time, right? Right?
It was sabotage. Sabotage.
They can't take it.
It was
They
a
could never
cult
let it go
anyway.
back.
It was a cult anyway, Sandy, with all the catchphrases and
Thank you.
Bengali's
Thank you for
running a
that.
friggin' place. You know, it took me 10 years to deprogram myself, for Christ's sake.
Sorry to bring back those memories.
That's all good. It's all good, man. You know, I
Uh,
walk point. There were some times, I swear to Christ, that I walked point and Nam rather than done another improv set for a bunch of shit-faced secretaries and in a bus from Mississauga. Ron just got hit with a bouncing Betty. Yeah, well, shouldn't have been on the stage. Good night. What?
Yeah. My
Can I
personal
curse
favorite.
on this show?
What's that?
Can I curse on this show?
Oh yeah.
It's really
You guys
like,
trying to
oh,
get some sponsors like Procter & Gamble or
Yeah.
some spooky Mooney toothpaste cult. Gonna have a logo up in the corner for you in a minute. Huh?
All right, we'll go to team 2 now. Ski mountaineering, biathlon, and winter pentathlon. And
Oh,
yeah.
my lungs hurt just hearing the three of those,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
How hard is that? Because you're dealing with altitude as well.
Mhm.
So ski mountaineering, that's where you ski, take your skis off, and then rappel and stuff.
You climb
I
the
think-
mountain, right, Matt?
You climb the mountain with the
first,
skis
I
on your
think,
back.
and then you ski down the mountain.
Oh, that's mental.
Yeah.
My question is, and I don't know a lot about the sport, do you ski through the people climbing up? Is it like an obstacle where now they can, like, do you have to, it's probably just a separate place. You ski down a separate place, but can you imagine if you had to ski past the people?
I think you want them to, Matt. I think you want to see people flying like bowling pins on that hill. Right? One of those James Bond ski races where Telly Savalas ends up in a wood chipper on Her Majesty's Secret Service. The second one, George Lazenby. He only lasted one film as James Bond.
Mhm.
Anyway, I took a tangent. Sorry. So
that's cardio for you. Climb a mountain and ski down it.
huge cardio. Huge. And the second one, Sandy?
The second one is a biathlon.
That's one where you cross-country ski and shoot the gun, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I hate cross-country skiing. Have either of you guys done it?
I love it.
Oh,
Manitoba, yeah.
yeah, so stupid.
Yeah. You get the thing with cross country skiing is I found you get like halfway there and then you realize this is awful and oh shit, we have to go all the way back now.
Exactly.
Like it's just the word when it's you're just like, why did we go so far? Because now this is awful. It's terrible.
Well, you can't stop because of the sweat factor, right? You get a sweat going, and if you stop, you're going to freeze. So it's all about managing that hot and cold.
You're running away from the sweat.
It just doesn't give the, downhill skiing. I mean, you get that excitement, right? We used to ski the back bowl of Lake Louise when we were younger. We do a couple of hot knives, and I'm from a day where a hashtag was something you got from getting too close to the hot knives. Do the back bowl of Lake Louise. And remember, I was in Second City Touring Company. I got a week off and I went out to Calgary. All my buddies were out there and, living the maritime dream with, 7 of them sleeping in a 2-room place in downtown Calgary. Anyway, we all went out to Lake Louise, and then about, it would have been 1980, 83, no, 82, 82, I don't know, one. And then about 20 years later, I had a gig in Lake Louise, and I thought, geez, I haven't skied the back bowl in a long time.
Uh-oh.
Why don't I rent some skis and go ski the back bowl? Didn't have the hot knives. No. Put that behind me. Went on the back bowl. The mountain was assaulted by snowboarders going right past my head like they were ready to sever it, guillotine me. I had 6 runs. I sat by the speakers, blasting Aerosmith at the foot of the hill, had 2 sips of beer and fell asleep. That's how much I'd changed.
And it
Must have
wasn't
been
even good
ballads.
Aerosmith.
Must have been ballads, Aerosmith, you know? The
Yeah.
slow songs.
Yeah.
It was.
That's sort
And
of
I hear
90s.
you calling. And it,
That's Kiss. That's
Oh,
Kiss.
that's
That's
oh,
Beth.
is that Kiss?
Yeah.
That's Kiss.
It
I
is.
always thought that was an Aerosmith song.
That's legendary Kiss.
I did not know that. How about that? They're still on tour.
Well, yeah.
They're trying to wrap it up.
Them and the Stampeders. You know, when the Stampeders are on tour, Ronnie, who plays the double neck bass, they
Yeah.
pick him up at the home and he does the show from a chair.
Is this real?
True. That's where they'll be picking me up at the home, shooting me full of Ritalin or something, or mainline and Red Bull.
Yeah.
I
Pick
think
you
I've
up at
got
home.
about 10 years left. I figure I'll be on the road till I'm 75. I might have an orderly traveling with me at that point.
Yeah.
Well, Ron, you aren't old enough to have seen this last sport in this category because it was only a demonstration sport at the 1928 Olympics.
Oh my
That's the
God.
winter pentathlon.
Holy geez, what's that one?
So you had cross-country skiing, shooting, downhill skiing, fencing, and
What?
horseback riding.
What?
You know, just your natural compilation of winter activities.
Because your weekend's not complete unless you get that horseback ride in too.
Yeah.
So what do they do with the horses? Do they race them? Do they jump?
That's a great question.
It's
I don't know
kind
if
of
they even
equestrian.
figured out. Fencing seemed the weirdest to me. Is fencing particularly winter? I don't know.
Yes,
They
Matt,
fence-
I'd forgotten
they
that
fence
one.
on
You've
ice.
given me the list and I'd forgotten the fencing. The fencing is bizarre.
The
But wait a second.
yeah.
That's 5 very that's the hardest.
Well,
That's
the horse
gotta be the
jumping,
hardest.
to confirm, the horse jumping was an equestrian course, a winter equestrian course.
Oh, wow. So horse jumping, equestrian. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that ever sound Prussian?
Yeah.
Doesn't
No,
it
though there was
sound
some
like royalty farting around on a weekend?
yeah.
You call yourself a skier? You call yourself a skier? You got
Yeah, it is.
nothing until you fence me on a horse.
Wait till we get to the horses. I don't know what that accent was, but
Well, yeah, Ron, was that a British rich person or like a
Funny.
baron from Germany?
Yeah, well, they were all cousins.
That's true. That's
They were all
true.
cousins, the British and the Germans.
Yeah.
Very, yeah. I can do a German accent. Ich bin lieber der Außen, schlägt der auf und der und.
there was some
Yeah.
controversy with this pick though, Ron, because it was a demonstration sport, not an actual sport. So you can factor that into your final judgment or not. Just throwing that out there for you.
A demonstration sport.
Yes.
They had winter pentathlon as a demonstration sport. Ski mountaineering is going to be in the 2026 Olympics. It's a future thing.
It's
Team
getting
3.
pretty eclectic, isn't it?
Yeah. No
Oh,
question.
Team
I
3.
mean,
You ready?
yeah.
Ron, you got a comment first? Are you ready for this?
I thought I did, but there's nothing funny coming.
What chapter is that
Being
in
a
your
pro
book?
is knowing, right? Being
Pardon
a
me?
pro is knowing you were about to say something and it wasn't going to be funny and just cutting it off.
Exactly. It's very,
That's the
very
skill.
professional. It happens a lot during corporate gigs.
The team 3 is ski jumping, snowboarding, and Nordic combined, which is the ski jumping and cross country skiing together, Nordic combined.
Man, oh man, do I ever wish I had the cojones to ski jump, right?
Mhm.
How great would that be?
Oh,
You know, my buddy's son was and he teaches now in Revelstoke. He was an aerial skier, you know, he did the tricks in
Oh,
the
yeah.
all that stuff. And you're born to it. When he was 8 years old, I guess, he was doing backflips off the boathouse in Muskoka.
Oof.
We went to visit them. We were canoeing in Killarney, my family and I, and said, come visit us. And he was just born without a fear of heights or whatever a fall would do to him.
Mhm.
And I always had the image of me, if I try that, I just always had the image of me curled in a corner in some closed ward, sucking my steak through a straw.
Yeah.
Just a vegetable forever, just one big bang on my head and game over.
Yeah.
But he was fearless. So there's a fearlessness with that sport. And ski jumping, I mean, I don't know how for bravery.
Yeah.
I don't know how do you start that?
It seems like a dare, and then I actually pull it off like almost like a skydiving, and then you're like, oh, I kind of like that, or I kind of landed well. Because obviously if you have a bad landing, you're probably not going again.
Have you
Did you
ever
say
knocked the
something-
wind out of you doing anything? I was on Mount Royals years ago. I was playing a club in Mount Royal. I went to visit my brother-in-law and his sons, and they were little at the time, and we went tobogganing on Mount Royal. And they had a jump on Mount Royal. And his kid was 10, and he had one of those little scooter things with one blade in the front, two blades on the back.
PT Snow Racer. Yeah.
Yes. So I got a hold of it, and I went down to do that jump. Hit the jump. Jesus, the machine went out from under me, and I was perpendicular on the snow about 6 feet up, and I landed on my back. You know the feeling when the wind's knocked out of you?
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
Oh, I can still remember the three of them dying with laughter, dying, little kids slapping their leg. So I don't know what it's like when you land wrong with, remember the Wide World of Sports?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Victory in the agony of defeat. That's what I always remember when I see the ski jump.
Yeah. It's a pretty close match if you severely want to get the wind knocked out of you or you want to be punching the balls. It's kind of they kind of are so horrible that you want it to go away so badly, so intensely, and then they just go. And then it just goes. But it's the worst 30 seconds or a minute of your entire existence. And having both happen, wow.
I wonder if they're going to have animals in the Olympics pretty soon.
Great segue.
In what capacity?
I sort of shut you down, didn't I?
Nice you mean like to test new events? Like we'll send an animal down and try this first.
No, like having wolves chase cross-country skiers. The cross-country skiers get a start. The wolves come out.
Kind of a Hunger Games, more of a feel like a.
Yeah.
I getcha. Okay.
Get the younger viewers.
Yeah. Well, this is something to ponder and perhaps pitch at the next Olympic meeting.
Dick Pound. There's a name. It's good he's in charge.
Dick Pound.
Dick Pound. Is he still running
Dick
it?
Pound, what a great name. I don't know if he's still around. I don't know if he's still alive. He can't be. Is he? Dick Pound? Great name, though.
Great name.
The people who run the Olympics, they're rich, aren't they?
Oh, God, yeah. It's like FIFA.
Yeah,
Right.
it's kind of corrupt like FIFA too, isn't it too?
Allegedly.
Yes, I believe so.
Like there's a lot of grift that goes on to like get the Olympics, and like you have to woo a whole committee of people, and
You do. And the massaging begins, it's a 24/7, 365 gig, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm always amazed at, what the world will tolerate with these levels of obscene corruption. Meanwhile, a stand-up comedian drops an F-bomb at a corporate gig by mistake and his career is in the shitter.
That's exactly what it is.
Yep.
Just an update on the Dicks. Dick Button still alive. Dick Pound still alive. Great Olympic associates. I think Dick Pound is 81 and Dick Button, I believe, is going to be 95 this year.
And Dick Williams is dead.
Butkus.
Thank you.
Dick Butkus is dead. Dick Williams is dead.
Dick Buck is dead. Dick Allen is dead.
Dick Allen is dead.
So
That picture to the right of you up there, Mike, is that Ted Williams?
That's Willie Mays.
Willie Mays. I can't
That's-
really see it that well.
That's him making the catch. It's autographed too.
Oh my gosh.
Probably the most valuable thing I have.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You have a Willie Mays autograph.
Yeah.
My goodness. Did you?
Yeah.
I mean, you bought it in an auction, clearly.
I bought it in Cooperstown actually. Yes, sir.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Thanks.
So we've had our William Mays update. We had the updates on the two dicks.
He's still alive, by the way. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, William Mays is still going. Ron, we're getting down to it now. We've got these three teams. We need a judgment. Which of these three teams do you think picked the most difficult winter sports?
Would you just do a quick rehash of all of it for me, please?
Team 1, skeleton, luge, figure skating, maybe more specifically, ice dancing. Team 2, ski mountaineering, biathlon, winter pentathlon. Team 3, ski jumping, snowboarding, Nordic combined.
I will say the second one.
This is the review of the second one is ski mountaineering, biathlon, and winter pentathlon with an asterisk because one was a demonstration sport and the other hasn't happened yet. Mike, you want to put an asterisk on those?
No.
Doesn't care.
Well, because
I think it's a good choice.
Well, because it's the Olympics, I think we should do silver and bronze. Is there a?
Sure.
So I'll take the gold. Thank you, Ron.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Take the gold for what?
For I was team 2.
Yeah.
Oh, right on. Okay, cool,
So now
man.
you gotta give out the silver for the second most difficult team.
The third one.
Second most silver is ski jumping, snowboarding, Nordic combine. That is Mike. And I will take the
No,
bronze.
sorry.
Because I'm true Canadian. Skeleton, luge, figure skating. Thank you so much. Yes. Well, we all medaled.
Yeah.
We did.
We all did great.
What do I win?
You run.
With a hat or anything?
You get the
What's that?
signed Willie Mays poster.
And a brand new pair of cross-country skis.
It's like that show used to be on TV, Beat the Clock, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in the 70s when it just personified the difference between Canada and America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob
Prizes.
Barker was giving away cars, fridges, and money, and you were getting a box of Mars bars.
Yeah. And like the grand prize was a gas barbecue. Like that was the big finish. It was
Yeah,
like,
beat the clock. Yeah.
Maybe we can get Ron one of those bottles we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
Well, Governor General.
a governor
Oh,
general.
A bottle of Governor General rum.
The Ed Schreier edition. We'll get like a nice picture. There you go.
Good call. Now, Sandy, I have to tip my hat, my friend, to pulling that out of your ass. You know, because I didn't have a Governor General's name that I could pull out of my
There we go.
right out of the air. Ed Schreier.
A bronze,
What?
bronze in the draft, but gold medal for the joke, Sandy.
The
Thank
young
you.
man from Manitoba comes up with Ed Schreier. There you go. That'll save a scene in Second City.
Yeah.
Ed
Yeah.
Schreier reference. How many times did you save a scene being able to drop an Ed Schreier reference, Sandy?
0.
You studied under Arkin, though. I saw you when my favorite actor passed away, that you actually studied under him for a while, hey?
Yeah, we did a class with Alan Arkin.
I
Yeah.
would have loved to have done that. I know that he'd been a practicing Buddhist for years, and
Yeah.
he lived in Cape Breton, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, not far from the monastery there. And I mean, my place is down the South Shore, but I just thought he was the best, man. I can't imagine how great that class must have been.
It was really great, and you'd appreciate that his biggest thing was just honesty. If you're not honest on stage, what are you doing? Just be
Wow.
honest. Yeah, his biggest thing. You have to, if you're feeling it, you say it. And I've never known Ron James not to do that.
Thank you very much.
Ron, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank
This
you.
has been so great, and we'll have you back for sure on our next one. Maybe we'll do some hockey or something, or baseball next time, right?
That would be great. That would be excellent. And I'm glad that you endorsed the new picture. That sounds great. It's going to be an exciting season.
Yeah, nice.
See
Thanks,
you
Ron.
guys. Nice to
Thank
meet
you.
you,
Ron,
Mike.
very much.
All
A
the
pleasure.
best, Matt.
Thank you.
Hey, good luck. I hope you're still on the air now that you hired me.
Okay, well, there you go. We now know Some of our feelings were justified, some were not. But we thank our judges as always for being with us on the show. We have some great judges over this. Now, I believe I did look it up.
Yeah.
I think we're on episode 30. I want to say 36 possibly now. So that's 36 in, heading towards Bob Cajun, where we're going to do 50 in the summer. So
In front of a live audience.
A live audience. That's
where
right.
we're also going to do sports trivia that night.
Yeah, we're going to do everything. We're making it a show, a theatrical production, Mike.
Yeah.
We're going to sign some DVDs,
Yep,
possibly.
some earbuds.
We'll all be wearing wigs.
We're going to have some cabin swag there.
Mike might debate with some people from an earlier
If
episode.
they listen.
If they listen.
Yeah. Only if.
It's going to be great. Frank's going to be there. Matt, myself, Mike. Well, I'm Sandy Jobin Bevins.
I'm Matt Kippen.
I'm Mike Sheriff.
That's Frank Russo over there.
Sure is.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to This Day in Sports. We will see you. This is now February, so we'll see you in for next episode in March.